This will be a little challenge for me because I feel like I'm a good cook and not a good baker. So, any tips you're going to give for this? Any little tricks? Will help me tremendously.
Well, it's not. It to me, it's so simple that you don't need. A baby could make this. I think that the good thing about it is it should take you no more than 25 minutes. That's prepping and cooking this to have this, on the table. Unless you do the double portion. The double portion does have to be cooked a little longer, but you can look at it and tell. It's probably about 25 minutes.
So if you cook this, what do you normally serve it with? Is there anything you normally do, or is it just considered a bread, period?
It's just considered a bread for me. I served it at my dinner theater just with lentil soup. So I had a soup and these muffins, and people really, really enjoyed them. They wanted extra. So, yeah, yeah. So this is a simple recipe. Again, it's not extravagant. It's simple. You guys, so we use I'll just go ahead on and start. If everybody that's ready, we can go ahead and start. We simply do a cup of flour. I'm using whole wheat flour. I love this flour. It comes from Muhammad's Farms. And I've never really dealt with flour that's that good, and to me it cooks even better. But it's a whole wheat flour that didn't come from a store. So, cup of flour. Next, we're going to do our cup of cream of wheat.
All right.
Okay, got that?
Give me a second here. I have to open the box of cream of wheat.
Okay, so we're gonna stir all the dry ingredients first, okay, guys? So then it is a half a cup of sugar, and I use the raw cane sugar. You can use honey. I stopped using honey because honey is not that much better than this sugar to me, so I kind of stopped dealing with the
and it's really
sticky
expensive.
honey.
I tend to use honey for things that are really super special, not like when you're
right. So that's why I didn't use honey.
Probably eat this with some honey, right?
Right, you can eat it with a little honey, but I wouldn't because I measure how much sugar I consume per day, and I'm really trying to do good.
Cream of wheat, and now I need some sugar in it. Right?
Yeah, that's the sugar. Some people can use a sugar replacement if they feel, but I think that even if you're battling any type of diabetes or whatever, I don't really agree with sugar replacement. I just think that you should do the serving size of the food and don't go over your serving size. I don't think none of us should do that, but we're ornery and we do it anyway. But if you have diabetes or any insulin resistance, just stick with the serving size, because when you use a sugar replacement, the erythritol or whatever they're using is the same amount in it as your sugar. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, the problem in America is like any prepared food you buy is just
loaded with sugar. Yeah, loaded with sugar. So then we're going to do a tablespoon of baking powder. And that should be all your dry ingredients. Kind of stir them around.
So quick question.
Go ahead.
No sifting of anything together, just scoop out the flour, dump it in, it's all cool?
Yeah, just dump it out. You don't have to sift it in. I'm stirring the dry ingredients a little bit. And then you add everything else.
You included the sugar with the dry?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So far I've got a cup of cream of wheat, a cup of flour, half a cup of sugar,
yes,
and a tablespoon of baking powder.
Yes. Next is your egg. You should one egg, and with you is 2 eggs. Are you doubling your recipe?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Your egg, your milk, 3/4 cup of milk.
All All right, I don't have a 3/4 cup, so, but I got a 1/2 cup and a 1/4 cup. It's so perfect. No, I can just, it doesn't have to be exact.
Right. I thought 3/4 was 1.5. No? 2 3/4? No?
Oh yeah, 1.5.
Okay.
So I keep forgetting we're done.
All right. And then a teaspoon of pure vanilla. And the last thing you're going to add is your oil. After you stir it a little bit, then add your oil. It's just always, to me, cooking any type of bread, you add the oil last. Okay.
All right. So,
and that was 1/4 cup of oil. I used olive oil today, but the recipe
all right,
you
I
can
still
use
need to
any.
use the vanilla. So let me see here. So 2 teaspoons would be 1 tablespoon.
Oh.
3 teaspoons, I think, are 1 tablespoon.
Let's go back. Your oven should be on 400. Everybody got their ovens preheated?
I always do that. I always forget to preheat the oven.
Mine is preheated. I just forgot to teach it. Sorry. 400.
I think a teaspoon is 5 mLs and a tablespoon is 15. Is that right? Does anybody else know?
Well, I know that it takes three teaspoons make a tablespoon. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Does it really? I thought it was 2.
Nope,
No.
it's 3.
it's 3.
It's
3
3.
teaspoons to a tablespoon.
Yeah. You know I measure my spices a lot. You know I make my own spices.
That's why you had trouble with. That's why you had trouble with baking. All these years.
Well, no, I mean,
You
I
guys
just
got
tried it right now with the teaspoon. I tried to put, it'll only hold 2 tablespoons.
Well, that's not really a teaspoon measure. That's just a kitchen spoon.
Yeah, that's a kitchen
okay,
spoon.
so you just you just dump the egg in, the
Yeah.
milk, the vanilla,
Yep. And then the oil.
and then the oil, and then stir.
And just stir. And when you stir, this is what your mixture should look like.
So let's see, how much oil?
It's
She stirred it up before she added the oil.
a little bit, yes, and then added the oil.
Yeah,
A 1/4 of a cup of oil. So you are a 1/2 cup, or you're 1/2 cup because you're doubling. So this is what it looks like. And so
I
you're,
doubled everything except the cream of wheat.
huh?
I said I doubled everything except the cream of wheat.
Oh, well, you got to go double the cream of wheat.
And what's the quantity of vanilla?
A teaspoon. 1 teaspoon.
If you're doing the basic, but I'm doing a double.
Yeah.
So,
So a teaspoon. And then your muffin pan should be oiled, or your whatever pan you want to use. If it's a small pan, you know.
so the double recipe you said we'll do a 9 by 13 pan.
Yes.
So, all right, and I still need to add oil to it.
Yeah.
And how many muffins does this make for a standard size?
12. 12 muffins. This is your pan. 12 muffins. And this is the filler. I use an ice cream scooper to fill mine, but you can use any. You can just, it divides right, okay? If you got to 1 muffin and you didn't have none, that means you got a few too full, and you just take a little bit out and make.
And is there any salt in this?
No. There's no salt.
All right. All right. And you said oil the pan.
Yes.
So, yeah,
I'm just using cupcake liners because I
You can use cupcake liners also.
I never really got into doing that, and I probably should because it makes it so much easier to serve them.
You know, these work good even without cupcake liners. I made a lot of them. I had to make several pans of these for my dinner theater. I made 60 of them, and I made them, so 5 pans, and I didn't use a cupcake liner.
So how much stirring are we doing? Is it minimal or well incorporated? Or?
Just make sure you got it all mixed. You can tell when it's mixed. It just kind of makes a thick mixture, and you can't go wrong. If you stir it a little over, it's not going to mess up. If you stir it under, your ingredients won't look like it's mixed together. Does that make sense? So I would say just minimum, just making sure everything is blended, but it doesn't have to have a bunch of stirring to come out right. Like
the oil's not really incorporating very easily. Like I have pools of it. I don't know if you can.
Let me see.
Just keep
Like-
stirring.
Just
I
keep
think
stirring.
yours is a lot thicker than mine. Mine's very liquidy.
Let
As
me.
usual, I put too much.
Mine was pretty thick. Mine was thick. Can I see yours a little more?
Mine is.
Yours is not bad. The one that thinks hers is too thick. And yours is, let me see yours again, R. Yours do look a little liquidy. How much milk did you put in there?
Yours is better. Hers is very thick, and mine's too thin.
Yeah, that thick is pretty good. It looks very good,
I'll
the
add,
thick.
I'll add a quarter cup more flour.
Yeah. That yours,
Mine's about like the consistency of thick
that's good.
cake mix, maybe.
That's
It
good.
looks like like bread that you've left set overnight almost.
That's what
Well,
it's.
it's runnier than bread dough for sure.
It's runnier than bread dough, yes, but that's right. It could be that thick and cooked perfectly, okay?
That's
I mean, what
right.
happens if there's too much moisture? You just have to cook it a little longer. Right?
That's
Or
it.
add more dry ingredients.
Or just cook it a little bit longer, but you
All right,
should
so mine
have
is
a
like a
little
full
bit
inch
thicker. That's good now. Yeah, that's good.
All right, my oven's only up to 250 warming up. So.
Okay.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, it's okay.
I always forget. It should be like #1 on all recipes. As soon as you start, put your oven, start warming.
I
I
should
think
have
the
told
biggest mistake
you.
we make with everything is we don't warm our pans enough and we don't warm our ovens enough.
Yep.
So,
Or I found out that cream of wheat is the brand name for farina.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I always grew up. We had farina. We would buy it in bulk. We'd buy like a giant. I want to say like 25 or maybe to 50 bags. And cornmeal and regular flour for baking. We always bought things in bulk growing up. So Jerri, tell us a little bit more about your journey into eating healthier.
Okay. Well, let me show you guys this first because I didn't think we were going to stay on here to wait for y'all food to cook. So I didn't have a 1 muffin pan and I forgot to go to the store to get another one. So I fixed the batch before you guys came on.
Okay.
And I just put it in this bread pan here.
Yep.
You guys see? And so it had to cook longer than because it's this bread pan. So I actually baked this for 30 minutes versus the 18 minutes for the muffins. So this is what you come out with. It's so good.
You know, what I like about this is,
Really good.
In bread, you've got the yeast and leavening and all that kind of stuff. And this, you don't have to do all that stuff.
No, and it's crunchy, like it has a crunchy cornbread effect. I don't eat cornbread because cornmeal does not digest in our stomachs correctly. So I don't,
Bummer.
huh?
I said, bummer. I love corn. Anything
Well,
corn.
so he said, let's talk about my journey. One of the things that I've learned in my journey, as you see, what did we say? Be willing, start dealing, get healing. Willing to face things that I do that could potentially be what has kept me and my ancestors sick, and how I'm constantly looking at more and more illness. And I don't want to be at a doctor's office, right? Getting a pill for this and this and that. So cornmeal was something that I was taught from How to Eat to Live that didn't digest correctly in an African American's body. It may digest in yours, but for my body does not digest cornmeal correctly. Does that make sense?
That's very interesting, because I cooked with the lady from Africa, and she said if there's a meal that doesn't have corn, they starve. I mean, she cooked with us. It was basically a cornmeal mash, and she said it's a, everybody eats that.
Yeah, but and then
maybe it's the GMO corn that we get in the U.S.
Well, it may be that she's making the corn in the milk stage. Now that does digest.
Okay.
But the corn,
kind of corn.
and but the corn that we normally get, like you said, here, and that makes our cornmeal is not the kind that digests in your body, right? So, you're right. Other countries don't even allow some of the stuff that our country allow for, in stores. So it could be that, but so cornmeal is one, and I don't eat it. So I learned to not like it, and I love this, and I don't eat it, so I don't remember if I liked it or not. But
what do you think of collard greens?
Huh?
What do you think of collard greens?
Collard greens are unhealthy for me. Collard greens are not, they are full of oxalates, and oxalates causes hardening of the arteries, and it is a calcium oxalate. And so doctors are practicing medicine, and they're doing the best they can trying to find out a lot of stuff. But the whole point of it, of what I'm saying, is we're steadily getting sick. So collard greens, another one.
Your go-to green?
I don't have to eat greens. Yeah, I don't eat greens to be healthy. I eat spinach every now and then.
The reason I asked that is I came across a place that all they were selling was hot dogs and collard greens, and I was like, let me buy the healthy thing.
Well,
Some collard greens.
Yeah, well,
Well, spinach has oxalates too, does it not?
It does, but it does, but it's different. That's why you should not eat spinach every day, but it is safer than the other greens. The other greens are a ground purifier. Spinach is not necessarily the ground purifier, but it still has oxalates, and you shouldn't eat it daily. Does that make sense? But the others are ground purifiers. And so...
How long did you say I'm supposed to put this in?
Yours should be able to cook for like 25 minutes because
Okay.
Yeah, it's double.
Cupcakes?
18 minutes. You did the one, yeah, she just made the one serving.
Yeah, but mine has only a half a cup of the cream of wheat, and then a cup and a half of the.
That's fine. That's fine. It's still it's still lit. Yeah, that's fine. But yes, so it's just so many things on this journey that I learned daily. You know what I mean? Daily, I learn more. We must keep an open we must be open so that we can be taught. And sometimes we just get so misguided from so many things that we are unwilling to say, hold on, let me just look at me. So I always, when I'm teaching people, I say, is there anything with you that's wrong? You know what I mean? With you. Well, could it be that you may need to relearn some things? And that's what happened with me. And so greens and stuff like that I stopped eating has turned my life around. Not just.
So what is something you cook regularly that you think is like really good for you?
Navy beans. So navy beans is something that I cook regularly. It just balances out so many things in your system, and you can do so many wonderful things with the navy bean. You can make navy bean burgers, navy bean meatballs, with some spaghetti squash, navy bean pie, navy bean egg rolls, navy bean stir fry. Just anything with navy beans you can replace. Navy beans, 105 milligrams of magnesium in 1 cook cup. Why that is so important? If you are trying to help a family get their levels up, so 90% of us in America have low magnesium serum levels. Yes, it may show up in your blood work when you go to the doctor, but your blood serum level of magnesium only accounts for 1% of your entire magnesium makeup. 99% is in the muscles and nerves, and the doctors can't really detect that. You can get a false report of, oh, your blood serum level is correct, but you're still deficient. And when you're deficient, you're sick.
Because we're just not eating organic food anymore, which,
right.
If the soil is depleted of
magnesium,
minerals,
yeah,
it's not getting passed through to us.
That's correct.
A lot of that, and the other thing I think is beans are not popular. People don't, I fart and I do this, so they don't eat a lot of beans, which they should be eating.
The primary bean that the one bean most everybody's allergic to, and that causes a lot of diabetes.
Soybean.
What was that? What kind?
Soy. Which one are you saying?
The red bean, kidney bean.
Okay.
Kidney beans.
So kidney bean, literally, the proper way to cook that is you have to soak it, pour the water off, and then cook it.
There's some toxicity in a kidney bean.
Yes.
As far as I know, none of the other beans.
This is the only bean that I'm recommended to eat, and it's the only one I eat. So I just don't shuffle. I don't say, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. This is the only one that I use.
You said you already baked this, so we don't have to wait to show it. Can you show it? Because I was distracted.
Oh. Hold on.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, when we had leftover cream of wheat, Mom would fry it. So that's how I assumed that this would be like. If you got some cream of wheat and you sliced it and then you fried it in the morning, that'd be a similar kind of cake like that. But
so that'd be cream of wheat that was not baked but cooked in a pot.
Correct.
Like
you cook it in the morning, and if there's any leftovers,
she fried it like cornbread cakes.
Thick, and then Mom would just slice it into little, patties or whatever, and then fry it on both sides for breakfast.
Hey, Jerry, go back. What is the flavor that you just tasted?
Oh my God. It has a little sweetness. It has a little sweetness to it, but not sweet like cake. But enough that a kid would like it. And then
vanilla.
the one, yeah. Well, I think, so butter, a little bit of butter would be good. Like when you want butter on your bread. This can actually go, say this was served at one of those big time steakhouses where they bring your bread out. I think people would go nuts. Like it's literally, on that level of taste where give me some more with some butter, you know. So, but it's crunch. It has a little crunchiness because of the cream of wheat, which gives it, makes it that texture that you can eat it with some chili, some soup, and just feel like you're eating cornbread. So, it is a replacement for people like me who's given up cornbread.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for showing us how to do this. And, well, we can talk about having you come back on to cook something else.
I have
Please
5
stick around
minutes.
after the recording, because we sit around and chat and talk about things. We've got people from at least 3 countries on here. So
Yes, that's wonderful. So I got 5 minutes left on my muffins. They're right at done. I don't know if someone else. Well, I got 3 minutes now.
So I did forget to ask my question, what I usually ask. Any of these ingredients can be swapped out for something else? Like, would you add, I don't know, raisins to this to make it a sweet one, or take the sugar out to make it less sweet, or, you know, how would you change it up?
You can always, if you take the sugar out, I mean, you just would have no sugar, you know. Maybe put less sugar. You can definitely change the flour for people who don't use wheat flour to some of the other flours, you know, what is that? I got
But I don't think it would, gluten-free flour wouldn't really do much, because the farina itself is wheat. So.
You think
You
so?
can make the farina, you can do savory with the farina by putting other spices in it, I think. I don't know about the baking part, but...
Yeah, have you ever made one that was, you know, savory with, I don't know, Italian herbs or...
You know, flavor? I haven't, but I think that would really taste good if you took... And I would replace... You wouldn't really replace all of the sugar, because you wouldn't probably want to put a half a cup of herbs. But you definitely could put some herbs in there and maybe put only just a tablespoon of sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would still keep maybe a tablespoon of sugar and then substitute the rest of the half a cup with...
Now, let's say you put like curry powder or something in there. It wouldn't have to be real spicy even, but
I mean, start by
have a
just...
different flavor.
Well, you could do that.
With the vanilla, and then just serve it with different toppings. Try it. You know.
If you use honey instead of sugar, is there any adjustment to the liquid?
No. I didn't make any, and it came out fine. It's a little more moist, but no.
Okay.
So, will do.
Okay, these
All
are
right.
ready, so
Any
I
final
can...
words or questions, everybody?
I can show these. They're ready.
All right.
Mine are ready, so I'm going to take... See about...
And do you do that toothpick test that it comes out clean? Is that kind of...
You know, I didn't, because I put it on the amount of minutes and it was over. I just, I cooked them for 18 minutes, and I do it so much that I know that 18 minutes works on 400. So here it is.
Okay, you know your oven really well, yeah.
Yeah, I know my oven well. You can do that, but it should be fine. Like I said, this is such a simple recipe that you would feel, you can even see it. When it's brown like this, you see that? Then this is the one with no cupcake things. This is just a greased old muffin pan, and this is what we get. When it looks like this, that thing is ready. And it comes out, so y'all can see, and they're pretty, and you serve these for, you know, a group of people. They're just like, whoa, you know, you did this simply, right? This was a simple recipe.
I have a question, Jerry. So Do you eat any other kind of bread, like sprouted wheat or anything, or is this your bread replacement?
No, I use that whole wheat flour that I get from the farm. Let me show you it in the bag. So this is what my whole wheat flour, I have plenty of it. And I make bread. So I make a simple bread, right? And I use the quick yeast rise because I make it simple and quick and we eat it quickly, right? So I make a simple bread that I make for my family and we eat this bread during the week. And so I use this flour, some water, some oil, and some baking powder, and a little bit of salt.
It's really good basic bread.
Little bit of salt. And I get a bread and it rises in about 25 minutes. And then I bake it on some parchment paper, two that I make up. It makes like two.
Make a loaf. You make a loaf.
Yes, I make a little loaf on that and just cook it on the cookie sheet in the oven for it's like 30 minutes. And we got bread for the week. My husband and I normally are through with it. He eats it a lot. And we're done with it in probably about 3 days.
Fresh bread.
So that's been something I've been learning to do. But we do buy one bread from the co-op that he likes. And I noticed that it doesn't have any fructose corn syrup in it. And what else? It doesn't have bad stuff in it. And all this stuff.
Any bread you buy there is expensive.
It is. It costs like $8 for a loaf of bread. So that's why I've been making.
I always say that I would rather spend money
for
on
health.
good food than bad health care.
Yeah.
Well, or I'd rather spend money on good ingredients that I can prepare at home rather than paying somebody to make a loaf of bread and charging $8 for it.
That's true.
Well, I wasn't talking about the local bread.
It probably cost you $30 to buy all the ingredients.